Welcome back to Pokemon episode summaries. Today, I'll be doing episode 124, Flower Power. The episode begins with Ash and the gang finally making their way out of the goddamn illusion forest and arriving on the outskirts of a huge-ass city known as Flounder. Or Florando if you're in the dub, I don't know. Seeing all the variety of places that they could go in this huge city, Misty suggests that they do some sightseeing to decide what they should do first, but Brock counters that there's no way that he could do any sightseeing since he couldn't relax, since there could be a whole bunch of beautiful girls in town that he needed to protect. But Brock, I'm pretty sure girls need protection from guys like you. I think that's how that works. As Ash and the gang enter the city, they realize they don't need to decide what they were going to do, as they're immediately requested by a woman to go check out the exhibition that was going on in the town square. Called the Floander Festival, the festival involved a whole bunch of Pokemon and their trainers putting on live shows and different acts. Ash didn't understand that they were live shows, though, and when the woman mentioned shows, he immediately assumed that it was a whole bunch of Pokemon TV shows, and everyone had gathered together to watch them in the square. This caused him to wonder if he could put on a show of his own with his Pokemon. Brock and Misty inform Ash of the true nature of the shows, though, as they go to watch some, including a Flareon jumping through a hoop of fire, Oddish balancing on an electrode, some Mankey dancing in a circle around a trainer, and an Alakazam trying to make a spoon bigger with its psychic powers, also trying to bend it at the same time. They then stumble across an act put on by two Pokemon that Ash had never seen before, so he pulls out his Pokedex and finds out that they were called Blossom. And the Pokedex also states that when Blossom move, their delicate petals rub together, creating a pleasant sound. They're also known for their unique acrobatic dancing abilities. The Blossom were in fact known for their dancing abilities, as that was the act that they were performing, doing a whole bunch of dance moves. Just then, the Blossom's trainer then ordered them to do something that she called the Loop-de-Loop, as a very special dance move, but unfortunately, the Blossom failed to perform it properly, and ends up landing inside Ash's arms, causing him to fall over onto the ground. Then, the Blossom's trainer hurriedly runs over to Ash and makes sure he was okay, and also thanks him for catching her Blossom, as it could have got really hurt otherwise if it just landed on concrete. Ash hands the Blossom back to her, and states it was just a lucky catch. This impresses the trainer, who insists that it must have been fate that Ash caught the Blossom, insisting that he couldn't have just been in the right place at the right time just by chance. Brock gets jealous about how much attention this trainer was giving Ash, wanting the attention for himself, so he butts in, commenting that he could make any time and any place work for their date. Misty thankfully stops Brock from further embarrassing himself by dragging him away. As thanks for Ash saving her Blossom, the trainer buys Ash and the gang some drinks, introducing herself as Bailey. Brock tries to introduce himself, trying to flirt again, and Misty just pulls him away angrily again. Bailey then introduces her to Blossom as Belle and Bella, and Ash and Misty tell them how much they like their show. Bailey then comments that if Ash and Misty enjoyed today's show, then they should come by tomorrow's show as well. Ash and Misty ask what she was going to be doing in the show. She admits that she wasn't quite sure yet, as she was planning to try and perform the same move that she failed to do earlier today, but now she realized that her Blossom weren't capable of doing it anymore, because they were apparently in a slump now, and needed a little bit more practice to be able to perform it again. Meanwhile, Jessie and James were also walking through the city and immediately noticed the festival going on. They immediately changed into dancing outfits, with James being the one in the ballerina outfit for some reason, and Jessie being in a flamingo outfit, stating that they wanted to enter the festival and show off their dancing talent. Maybe Team Rocket should just quit Team Rocket at this point. It seems like all they like doing is dancing because it's all they do during their motto. But anyways, unfortunately for Team Rocket, they can't enter the festival because it requires money, and they were broke as fuck. So they come up with an idea to have Meowth try and earn some money for them. Meowth gets worried about what Jessie and James were going to make him do, but they then simply set him up on a stage and introduce him as a talking Meowth, which obviously would attract a crowd, as the crowd arrives, and Jessie and James order him to just keep on yapping. Meowth, however, gets severe stage fright when he begins talking, so he begins to lose the crowd's attention, leading Jessie and James to come on stage and pull him back quick, assuring the now disappointed audience that Meowth was just having a little incident, and he'd be back soon. The crowd angrily waits as Jessie and James proceed to give Meowth some jokes to say backstage, in hopes that him just being able to read off of something would make it easier for him to speak. When Meowth re-enters the stage, the disappointed crowd is quickly cheered up, much to their surprise, as Meowth's jokes are actually quite funny. At least they were in the beginning, because Jessie must have really fallen off, as the later jokes were so unfunny that the crowd was thinking of leaving, and they started booing. Jessie went up to some of the leading crowd and tried to force them to pay her money, stating that the show wasn't free, but the customers all rebutted that since the show was so bad, they shouldn't have to pay, and they ran off. In an attempt to get the remaining crowd to stay, James whispers another joke to Meowth, but Meowth messes this joke up, which just causes the rest of the crowd to leave, much to Team Rocket's dismay. Realizing that they wouldn't be able to get money to enter, they decide to forcefully enter in by riding into the festival on a huge-ass bulldozer, interrupting all the other performances as they tried to run over all the Pokemon, and proceeded to do their motto as their dance act. Even Meowth gets concerned, seeing Jessie and James's pure desperation just to perform a dancing routine. Thankfully, Ash and the gang, who were still having drinks by the festival, notice Team Rocket enter, and Ash goes in to stop them, ordering Pikachu to use Thunderbolt. But then, Bailey and all the other festival trainers butt in and explain that they wanted to be the ones to deal with Team Rocket, as they felt responsible for protecting their own show. Team Rocket simply laugh at all the other festival trainers, not believing that any of their Pokemon could be as strong as Pikachu, but then, one of the trainers has his Alakazam use Psychic to lift Team Rocket's bulldozer up into the air, and flip it over, sending Team Rocket flying out. Jessie and James then decide to get their Arbok and Victreebel involved, but of course, Victreebel does nothing but eat James at the start. When Victreebel does finally start to attack and is joined by Arbok, Bailey takes charge and has her Blossom use their acrobatic dancing skills to dodge all of Victreebel and Arbok's attacks and then put them to sleep with sleep powder. With their Pokemon down, Team Rocket scurry off. The crowd mistakes this whole ordeal as an elaborate performance put on as like a group effort by all of the festival trainers and applaud because of this, not knowing that it was not planned whatsoever. Later that night, Team Rocket were fighting over the last few meatballs they had, being broke as fuck, and still sad over their defeat, and the fact that they weren't able to enter the festival, when they then picked up a flyer that had blown near them, informing them that the festival was still going on tomorrow. Knowing that they still couldn't enter, they thought of the perfect thing they could do, steal all of the festival trainers' Pokemon, as revenge for the fact that they were allowed to go in, but they weren't. Meanwhile, Bailey was talking to Ash and the gang just outside her trailer, informing them of her lifelong dream to become the best performer in the world. She stated she was originally going to do this by having her Pokemon battle with dance moves, but she then realized as time went on that the Blossom preferred just dancing as opposed to battling whatsoever. So she decided that they should just make dancing their entire act, and that's why she really wanted to get this special move right, to prove that you didn't need to battle with Pokemon, you could just dance and still become an awesome performer. As Ash watches his Pikachu and Misty's Togepi try and dance with the two Blossom, he questions how the Blossom were able to beat Team Rocket just by dancing, pretty much. This leads Bailey to explain that that's what she meant when she said that she was trying to teach her Pokemon how to dance during battles for their initial performance, because she recognized that dancing and Pokemon battling were pretty similar overall. Particularly in terms of feet movement, as a fighter's footwork was similar to dance steps of a dancer. So essentially, the Blossom being able to dance well on their feet translated to them being able to battle well on their feet, meaning they could dodge a whole bunch of attacks, which is how they beat Team Rocket. Ash was kind of confused by the connection between battling and dancing, so Bailey suggested that she would teach Pikachu some dance moves so that Ash could see firsthand how they benefited you in battle. The next day, Bailey taught Pikachu a few dance steps, teaching him how to dodge opponents' attacks with them. It takes Pikachu a bit, but eventually he's able to learn these dance moves. Yay, he should be a more efficient dodger now, we'll see if it actually works. Later, Bailey then goes back to practicing with her Blossom, trying to get them to do the loop-de-loop move again, but unfortunately, Blossom just fails yet again, landing in Ash's arms. Belle and Bella were very upset by this, but Bailey declared that they couldn't do it, so she was going to have to find a new way to try and wow the crowd. Hopefully she came up with something quick, because the festival then started a few hours later. As for Team Rocket, they had already infiltrated the festival, not waiting until later like they usually do, and had tied up all of the official announcers so that they could disguise themselves as the announcers instead. As Ash, Brock, and Misty watched from the crowd, unaware of Team Rocket's disguise, Team Rocket then introduces all the festival competitors as they bring out their Pokemon to the stage, and Meowth, from the roof of the festival building, drops a huge net, capturing all of them. Meowth then retreats to the Meowth balloon as he pulls up the net inside, along with Jessie and James, who had grabbed onto the net in order to escape, revealing themselves as Team Rocket in the process. With none of the festival competitors able to assist due to their Pokemon being captured, Ash takes action, running outside of the festival building and sending out his Heracross and having it launch Pikachu up into the air as Pikachu flies up to the Meowth balloon. Okay, not literally, but it had momentum from Heracross's throw, and once it reaches the Meowth balloon, it thundershocks it, sending it plummeting down along with the net filled with Pokemon. Ash, Brock, and Misty and all the festival competitors rush over to the crashed balloon so that they could get back all the Pokemon, but Jessie and James were not injured at all by the crash, so they refused to give up any of the Pokemon and instead challenge everyone to a battle, sending out their Arbok and Victreebel yet again. Of course, Victreebel immediately starts to eat James as usual, leading Jessie to be on her own and order Arbok to use Poison Sting. Thanks to Pikachu's dance moves that it learned though, it was able to dodge the Poison Sting, proving Bailey's point that battling and dancing were related. Pikachu then further proves Bailey's point as Victreebel releases James and tries to use Takedown on Pikachu, but Pikachu manages to dodge that as well. Arbok and Victreebel then try and team up to take out Pikachu, using a tackle attack, but Pikachu is able to dodge yet again thanks to the dance moves by jumping up into the air, causing Arbok and Victreebel to crash into each other. James then orders Victreebel to use Wrap, to wrap Pikachu's feet so that it can't move anymore, and then Jessie has Arbok go up to it and try and bite Pikachu. While Team Rocket were distracted battling though, Bailey took the opportunity to free her Blossom from the net. And in a Deus Ex Machina moment, they're able to actually perform their loop-de-loop move, because of course, and it manages to knock out Arbok, although Victreebel is still standing. Jessie recalls Arbok, who now had a huge-ass bump on the forehead where it got kicked, leaving Victreebel alone, so Pikachu could simply use a Thunderbolt on it and knock it out. Apparently though, Bailey had taught her Blossom another dance move, or maybe they just knew this one beforehand, but I think it'd be pretty ironic if even though they were able to relearn the loop-de-loop, they were actually taught an even more powerful move in the meantime. But anyways, Bailey has the Blossom use this move, being a Tornado Twister, to send Team Rocket blasting off. This allows all the festival performers to get their Pokemon back, so the festival can then resume, and eventually, it was Bailey's turn, and she decided to go with the loop-de-loop anyways, not the new move. It'd be really funny if their loop-de-loop failed now, but it doesn't, and the Blossom do it successfully yet again, leading to a standing ovation from the entire crowd, including Ash, Brock, and Misty. Yay, happy ending. The episode ends with one last scene from Team Rocket, where we see them trying to emulate Pikachu and Blossom's dance moves, hoping that they would be able to dodge attacks from now on as well. Yeah, I doubt it, guys.